What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know here on a daily basis. And former President Donald Trump's Florida Mar-a-Lago home has been raided by the FBI here last night, and we have all the details here for you. We have a lot of different things to cover here today, as there's been a lot of new information coming out, a lot of different things coming out here today. Let's start with this, as we have a lot of new details that have come out here on this. And here we go. So yes, former President Donald Trump has confirmed his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida has been raided by the FBI, and they even went into his safe. They were looking for classified documents. This goes back to several months ago when they were looking, or when he had classified documents, and those were found at his Mar-a-Lago home, and they're thinking that maybe there were more that he didn't turn over. We'll get to that here in a second. Now, the former president has made a lengthy statement here, and we'll read you part of it here. And of course, he's blaming the radical left Democrats. The FBI is supposed to be nonpartisan, but they are a little bit partisan. Here's the interesting part here of this. Of course, he's blaming the Democrats for this. The really interesting part here, and I know that a lot of my viewers, some are Republican, some are Democrat, and this is why I try to just stick with the truth, and a lot of times uncover the truth here, because again, I'm not from either party. So sometimes, even like Bernie Sanders was kind of criticizing the Democrats for their Inflation Reduction Act bill here, saying there could have been a lot more for the people here in this bill here. So sometimes there's just the truth there is either way here. Here's the interesting part of this here. Now, we don't really know a lot yet about this and what the FBI may have might find here going forward. But the interesting part about Trump, blaming the Democrats on this, and I get that you're going to hear a lot of political propaganda on this, but the head of the FBI is a Republican appointed by Donald Trump. So I'll show it to you here. Check this out. So here is the head of the FBI, Christopher A. Wray. He's the director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and he has been there since 2017. He's served underneath Donald Trump and Biden, as you can see here. Okay, and he was appointed on August 2nd, 2017, during former President Donald Trump's presidency. Okay, you can see his picture right here. You can also see that his political party is Republican. Can't make this stuff up, guys. So just kind of showing you guys this here. I also, if I can zoom this in here, he also served underneath the George W. Bush administration, and he's served under Republican administrations for a long time. He stayed there. He went to Yale, all these different things here, right? He was nominated by George W. Bush to start. But if we go back here in 2017, President Donald Trump announced his intention to nominate him as the next director of the FBI. Trump interviewed him for the vacant FBI director position in 2017 and asked him if he believed that the investigation into the Russian 2016 election interference and possible links to Trump's campaign was a witch hunt, and he stated he did not. And he was then confirmed as the director of the FBI. So, I don't know. I just wanted to point that out here. Trump is going to blame this on what he's calling the radical left Democrats. The head of the FBI is a longtime Republican. He was appointed by former President Donald Trump. Here is also a very interesting point of view. Take a listen.
And by the way, it wasn't Democrats who broke in. It was the FBI, the same FBI that probably handed Donald Trump the presidency with their investigation of Hillary Clinton's emails, press conferences where they said that she was politically guilty, but probably not legally guilty, reopening investigations 10 days before. Yeah, it's that same FBI that even Donald Trump would say helped him get elected president of the United States. Chuck Rosenberg, let's not be distracted by, well, the lies that Donald Trump and his supporters are spreading right now. Let's talk about the law. What's it mean if you have the FBI going in and searching the home and the business of a former president? How serious is this?
Yeah, let's not be distracted, Joe. It's very serious. First of all, let me point out, two branches of government are involved in this decision, right? I mean, you wouldn't let a pitcher call balls and strikes. It wouldn't make sense. So the Justice Department here, its prosecutors and its FBI agents go to the judicial branch of government, to what the Supreme Court has called a neutral and detached magistrate, and ask her to review the search warrant and to sign it. Once she does, you are lawfully permitted into someone's home, into their business, into their hotel room, wherever the search warrant might permit you to enter. So it's all legal. It's all lawful. It's not a raid. They didn't, they're not there improperly or unlawfully. Is it a big deal? Of course it's a big deal. We don't know that it's going to result in charges. We don't know that anyone's going to be convicted as a result. But this is literally unprecedented. It hasn't happened. We have never searched the home of a former president. And we only did it because we had probable cause to believe that a crime had been committed. This is the Fourth Amendment standard, and probable cause to believe that you're going to find stuff related to that crime, evidence, in the place you've asked to search. Very big deal, unprecedented, but done lawfully and properly through a neutral and detached judge in another branch of government. This is not the FBI on its own deciding where to go and what to do.
Yeah, and Chuck, I understand that the level, the degree of seriousness higher, the standard is higher for federal courts when they issue these sort of search warrants in a lot of state courts. Is that true?
Well, the Fourth Amendment applies to state and federal courts, Joe, right? The Fourth Amendment is the Fourth Amendment is the Fourth Amendment. It's based on probable cause. But I can tell you this. This would have been the most fly-specked affidavit for a search warrant in the history of the Department of Justice. It would have been reviewed at the highest levels and multiple times. There are not going to be mistakes in it. They're going to be extraordinarily careful. And then, in addition to that, you have to convince a federal judge that you have probable cause. So in this case, it was a federal judge in federal court authorizing a federal search warrant. But whether you're in state or federal court, it's the same Fourth Amendment and the same probable cause standard.
I don't know, so this had to be approved. The search warrant had to be approved by a judge, by a federal judge. And really, it's going to be what they find in his safe, what they find in his house. So whether or not it's politically motivated, again, the head of the FBI is a Republican. Really, none of that should even matter. It's going to be what they find. If there's something that he has that he shouldn't, okay? So if there's nothing that he doesn't have that is what they're here's the details on this. The FBI searched his Mar-a-Lago estate, a dramatic step that increased speculation about the former president being in legal jeopardy. The search, which reportedly focused on the retention of classified material, comes as Trump is under scrutiny in a flurry of investigations related to the January 6th events, riots at the Capitol, his pressure campaign against election officials in Georgia, and his business dealings in New York. It also comes as the backdrop of Trump is considering a White House bid in 2024. What the FBI was doing, the FBI entered the Mar-a-Lago after securing a search warrant from a federal magistrate judge after demonstrating probable cause supporting their suspicion of criminal activity. While Trump did not detail what the warrant sought, He complained agents who searched my property even broke into my safe. The search in part appears to be in connection with Trump's failure to turn over some presidential records at the end of his term, which presidents are required to do. Instead, he took them over to his Florida home. There was a previous big controversy over this already, where we've already had some problems with this, where there was 15 boxes of classified material that former President Donald Trump took to his home, and he wasn't supposed to have them. They were classified documents that he was supposed to turn over when he left the presidency. And he claims that he had them by mistake. He didn't know, this, that, and the other thing. And now they've been turned over. But okay, so we'll give him the benefit of the doubt. But at this point, if he has something locked in a safe that he's not supposed to, and this is why maybe the FBI has convinced a federal judge that at this point, it's got to be past the point. And again, I'm not picking sides here. I'm trying to stay as neutral as possible. At this point, especially being the president and having legal counsel and all this stuff here, if he has classified information still at this point, he has to know he's not allowed to have it anymore at this point. They have to turn that in at the end of their presidency back to the White House. Okay. This is, I mean, even I know this stuff. So clearly he has to know this stuff. Remember, he had 15 boxes of it that he didn't turn over. And then he had to turn it over afterwards, after they kind of said, we need this stuff back. And there was this whole controversy over it. So now if he still has stuff and it's locked away in his safe, there's clearly a problem here. And the FBI is calling it a criminal activity if they find something. So I guess we're gonna find out here if there was a criminal activity and if they find something. You can let me know your thoughts here. So again, it's let's take the politics out of it, and we'll say, okay, it's not Democrats, not Republican. The FBI director is a Republican. A judge had to approve this, and it's really going to come down to the evidence. Did they find something? If not, no big deal. Okay, so and Donald Trump released this long, lengthy statement, but if they don't find anything, then he can say, all right, well, they're targeting me and stuff like that. But if they find something and it's illegal, then we have a different story here. The other news coming out here in related news, I'll come out of the corner here so you can see all this, and you can make your own decision here on this as well. Being reported by Axios here, you could see here exclusive photos here just being reported here. A White House staff is coming out here with what they call photos here of documents that used to be flushed in the White House wing, of documents that used to be flushed on a regular basis to destroy documents in the White House. This is just coming out here within the last few hours. And you can see here in Maggie Haberman's forthcoming book about former President Donald Trump will report that White House residence staff periodically found wads of paper clogging a toilet, and believed the former president, a notorious destroyer of Oval Office documents, was the flusher. Now, there's no evidence saying that he was or wasn't. This is what they're claiming. Why it matters: destroying records that should be preserved is potentially illegal. It could have been anybody that did it. Could have been a staffer or anybody. Now, Trump denied it and called Haberman, who the New York Times coveraged, and he called them a maggot. Yikes. So Yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here. Is it all political propaganda? Is some of this stuff real? Is most of the stuff real? Is all this stuff real? Is none of this stuff real? Yeah, a lot of this comes down to what side of the political spectrum you're on and what the evidence may or may not show here if we get confirmation of some of this stuff here. We'll have to see what the FBI, what we find out from the FBI in due time. I will keep you up to date here on this. The other hot story going on right now here, somewhat here, Kevin McCarthy, leader of the Republicans in the House of Representatives, he's the House Minority Leader, right now, threatens to probe Merrick Garland after the Trump FBI raid happens. Here's what he has to say. House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy, Republican from California, promised that if Republicans take back the House after November's midterm elections, they will investigate the Department of Justice, telling Attorney General Merrick Garland to, quote, clear your calendar. He says, quote, I've seen enough. The Department of Justice has reached an intolerable state of weaponized politician. When Republicans take back the House, we will conduct immediate oversight of this department, follow the facts, and leave no stone unturned. Quote, Attorney General Garland, preserve your documents and clear your calendar, McCarthy said. McCarthy's comments came after former President Donald Trump confirmed in a lengthy statement that the FBI had raided his Mar-a-Lago residence where he said agents, quote, broke into a safe. They did have a warrant for that. Yeah, so does this put Republicans and Democrats even further apart? Does this make them even more at each other's throats? Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. I'll keep you up to date here as this is developing. Let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Make sure to subscribe down below to our YouTube channel. It's completely free to do so. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll keep you up to date here with everything going on here in our country on a daily basis. You can click here to watch my newest video next. And you can click here to see millions of people are getting stimulus checks this month. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.